What's up, everyone? Regal Reviews here. It is White Rice Wednesday, which means time for my Survivor recap. So yeah, what a freaking intense episode tonight. So now we're officially into the merge. So congrats to everybody who made the merge. Big accomplishment. And, I gotta give the people credit this season. I mean, after the whole disaster of last season, you kind of expect better. And no matter what you think about the castaways, these people this season are not afraid to make big moves. And what's interesting is that there's not like one obvious villain. And for the first time in a while, watching Survivor, I don't have a problem with anybody. Everyone seems, very chill. There's not one person I'm like, oh, I'm so fucking annoyed, So Matt, another smarty pants, noticed they were on the beach talking about, the idols on the 3 different beaches, and it was brought to Matt's attention that there were 2 idols, of course the real one and the fake one. And it occurred to Matt that, oh my God, I can have the fake one because the fake one's, the circle and everything. Really, nothing to that one. Sorry, it's preview. I'm watching preview for next week as well. So it looks like it's going to be really intense next week. So even though he found the idol, now he's starting to question if it's actually authentic or not. So I'm looking at the time, and it's like 8:05, 8:07, whatever, and they're already getting into the immunity challenge. And I'm thinking to myself, something big has to be happening tonight. Because usually the immunity challenge doesn't start till like 8:20, 8:30. So I'm like thinking to myself, there has to be like a medevac, or there has to be maybe a tie-breaking vote. I mean, where they draw rocks. We haven't seen one of those in a few seasons. And it's an interesting one, let me tell you. So basically what's going to happen is they'll split into 2 teams, which, isn't that out of the ordinary. And the winner, the one who lasts the longest on each tribe will win immunity. Again, nothing too out of the ordinary. We've seen that before. But the person who lasts the longest. So you have Team Orange and Team Purple. So no matter what, one person from Orange, one person from Purple's gonna win immunity regardless. However, whichever one of the 2 lasts the longest, they not only win immunity for themselves, but they also win immunity for the people on their little temporary tribe. So it's a pretty big deal. And they're also playing for peanut butter and jelly, chips, and tea, which normally you think, fucking really, that's what they're playing for. But when you're out there in Survivor and you're eating nothing but bugs and coconut, peanut butter and jelly looks pretty good. So it's one of the classic merge challenges where they have to balance on a beam, but they have to hold this thing above their head. And it's like one of those instances where if you make a sudden movement and the ball falls off, obviously you're out. Or if you step off, you're out. And it ended up coming down between Franny and Brandon. Franny and Brandon both win immunity regardless, but it's a question of which one of them is going to win it for the tribe, no pressure. And it ended up being Franny that won against Brandon. So Franny won for Caroline, Heidi, Danny, and Carson was not chosen, so Carson had to go. He picked Orange because Carson had the choice between pick with Orange, they win, he wins, pick with Purple, they win, he wins. So he picked Orange, he gets to win immunity. I feel like, and Shane, I think that's his name. Not 100%. The redhead with the glasses. See, I'm so out of it this season. I'm still learning names, and we're only, we're into the merge at this point. So the other tribe goes back to the old Soka Beach. So now there's 4 people that are vulnerable. Brandon's not vulnerable because he won immunity. So the vote tonight's going to come between Matt, Jam Jam, Lauren, or Jamie. And I believe Jamie has an idol. So theoretically, if she plays an idol, she's safe. If, quote unquote, Matt's idol was authentic, he would be safe. So then that would be interesting, because then the vote would come down between Jam Jam and Lauren. So the winning tribe is sitting there and they're enjoying their PB&Js, and they see this note that says open when you're finished eating. And I don't know about you guys, but if I saw something like that, I would not be able to sit and enjoy my PB&Js. And they open it, and it's basically this thing that says there's an advantage in the cage in the island, and there's these keys hidden everywhere. And you all have to race to get a key, and if you find it doesn't fit, just put it down, go find another, run and get another key. So all hell breaks loose. They try and end up being Heidi that got the advantage, and it's a survivor first. So this is basically a control the vote advantage. And what that means is Heidi will pick somebody on the purple tribe, and just say for conversation's sake, she picks Jam Jam. She controls Jam Jam's vote. So if Heidi wants Jam Jam to vote for Matt, then he has to vote for Matt, no questions about it. And it seems like the vote is coming down between Jam Jam or Matt tonight. Matt, for a couple reasons. One, because he's so close to Franny, and everybody who watches Survivor knows that when you're close, when you're in a pair like that, that's deadly. It basically ruins games, and they're going to want to vote you out. So that's a big reason why they want to get rid of Matt. The other one is because he has an idol. Jam Jam also because he's a very social player, and he's been able to make those connections out there. And he's very smart. Everybody's very smart this season. So, yeah, I'm very curious who it's going to come down between, and who the control of the vote's going to go to, because Franny is trying very hard to save Matt. So she's pitching that Matt should be saved. And Heidi, will listen to... I respect Heidi in the sense that she's willing to listen to anybody's pitch. But ultimately, I think it's going to be Matt, because like I said, when you see 2 people getting that close, you need to vote one of them off, because pairs are deadly in the game of Survivor. So we get to camp. Team Orange is sitting there all pretty, and they're talking about a tribal council. You're at that point in the game where it's like, who can you work with? And Jam Jam was saying that, he wants to be able to work with people that he can work with tomorrow, not just for one vote. And he's trying to make a pitch saying that to keep me, because, I'm loyal. And they start talking. Jam Jam says about how he grew up in Puerto Rico, and how this being on Survivor wouldn't have even been an option for him. And gotta admit, I got a little emotional hearing Matt's story, because he brought up the fact that he has social anxiety, and, when he's out in Survivor, he doesn't have his support system. And I relate to Matt. I really sympathize with Matt, because as somebody who has social anxiety and has, a small support system, very loyal support system, I don't have that right here at the moment, because my support system, back home and everything. So I relate to Matt in a way, and I respect the fact that, he's out there in the biggest, arguably the biggest social game ever, and he has social anxiety. I mean, that's very impressive. So it ultimately came down, Heidi decided to control Lauren's vote, and she told Lauren to vote for Jam Jam. And Lauren brought up an interesting point. She brought up that everybody knows that she has an extra vote. So does Heidi control both votes, or does she only control one? So that actually makes a very interesting point, and I'm sure that they might tweet that in another season of Survivor, because I didn't even take that into consideration, you know? And Jeff confirmed that Heidi only controls one of Lauren's votes. So theoretically, you know, no question, she has to vote for Yam Yam. But if Lauren wanted to, and she didn't like that, she can use her extra vote and vote for the person who she wants to maybe save them. And it ended up being Matt that got sent home, and that was probably the hardest one to watch this season and go home. And you know, as my best friend and me watch this together every Wednesday, and as she put it, it's a lot harder when they cry, and it is, but it also too, when you connect with somebody out there, you know, it's also a lot harder, you know. And yeah, I know a lot of people are really pissed because of all the advantages. I get it, but I like how they're adding new ones, and possibly to see if they work or not, but they're also not the same each season, because people will be, you know, catching on and be like, oh, we have this steal the vote, oh, we got to look out for that, or oh, we have this knowledge is power advantage. They're going to always expect that. So I think it's good that they switch them up. However, to a degree, I understand perfectly the whole too many advantages argument. I see nothing wrong with, like, if they have 3 tribes, to have an idol hidden on each tribe. They've done that for years. So I see nothing wrong with that. Maybe when they go on a journey, or if they ever add Exile Island back, I see nothing wrong with, you know, having one there. And then, you know, how idols usually go. If they play an idol, it goes back into the game. But idol, like Carson, even one episode made a whole play-by-play of who has these advantages and who has these idols. So yeah, it looks like there's going to be from the previews for next week, it looks like there's going to be a huge aftermath of the Matt vote out. And Franny's really upset, and she doesn't look like upset like, I'm so fucking pissed off, this is gonna be about my whole game, about Matt being voted out, that's what I'm gonna base my whole game on. Like, she genuinely is upset, and anybody would be if, you know, you're that close to somebody. And I think for Franny and Matt, it goes beyond an alliance relationship. I think they genuinely have a friendship out there, and to see, like, your best friend go out there when it's a game about social politics and trust, to see that one person you probably trusted in the game go, that's hard, but her emotions are totally understandable. But it looks like it's going to be very intense, and I think I said this last week, but I do want to say congratulations again to everybody who made the merge in Survivor. It is a huge accomplishment. It is definitely not easy, and you all earned it. So kudos to you. Congratulations. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's Survivor. If you want to check out Survivor, it is on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. on CBS, or you can watch it live on Paramount+. Hope you guys enjoyed my Survivor recap, and until next time, stay regal.